Who gets hotter than hot?
Yeah, don't adjust your eyes, fellas. Pharaohs. It's Hugin cough. Yes, I'm in a frog suit. No, you cannot pull this off. Let's get it down.
Okay, let's go.
To the park, green fleece on my back. Velcro under the chin, yeah, I'm carrying the track. Right these slow, tail wagging to the snare. All the alphas looking mad, but I really do not care. See a Doberman flexing, trying to guard his little click. I just hop over a puddle, leave him looking mighty sick. You a basic brown mutt, I'm a neon amphibian. Stepping in the dog club, changing the meridian. Your bark is kinda loud, but your bite is just a joke. I don't even gotta growl, I just hit him with the croak. Hop up, make way for Hugin. Green suit on, yeah, I'm wildin', I'm proving. Your boys looking tragic, my swagger is magic. I'm taking your bitches, it's honestly classic. Yeah, I said it, the fattest got to hear me, God. Leave your boys to the least, got them living large. Yeah, walk past the water bowl, give a little wink. Got a poodle and a bug, both offering a drink. Your boyfriends are sniffing each other's jump out of tree trunk. These bitches want a prince, well I'm the green prince of funk. Got a Frenchie on my left, got a husky on my right. I'm looking so fly, I'm looking out of sight. I'm a cold-blooded killer in a warm-blooded body, rolling through the dog park, turning it into a party. Y'all are chasing tennis balls, I'm chasing finer things like a reservation for two, fit for a frog king. Pop, make way for Hugin. Green suit on, yeah, I'm wildin', I'm proving. Your boys looking tragic, my swagger is magic. I'm taking your bitches, it's honestly classic. Yeah, shut it, the fattest fits in them, y'all. Leave the horns on release, got it from me, Lord. I wanna mention Marcus, cause he's on this track. I'm flying, I'm floating like Shaq. I know for a fact I'm not on Epstein's list. I got my own field with the bitches I kiss. I ain't got ticks, my DJ's beat matching. I ain't got fleas, that's my DJ that's scratching. I got mojo, I got swagger, I strut right past you, dog. You just a silly mutt. Bitches be thirsty, I'm a man's nightmare. The Dow was at 50, so I don't care.
I don't remember signing on to this. I was once inside Hugin until Dad gave him his hard-earned
Pop, make way for Hugin. Green suit on, yeah, I'm wildin', I'm proving. Your boys looking tragic, my swagger is magic. I'm taking your bitches, it's honestly classic. Yeah, shut it, the fattest dudes in limit line. Me the boy, you're the least, let him live in line. Yeah. Shout out to Dad in the Pharaoh chat. Ernie, Birdie, Mitty, Claudia, Tim, Darlene. Wish I could fit everyone into this song. Yeah, Ira, Tish, Toms, Steven, Satan, damn it, Kevin, you wrong. Ladies, you don't gotta get all bent. Cougar's more fresh than 50 Cent. You might not think he's cool, you might not think he's nifty, but Hugin don't count. Cause John Jones at 50, we out.
He said it, we out.
Self-defense means meeting violence with violence. First a warrior, all else is folly.
I'll just bring Paul over here. We had the Adam's apple. The hand makes a circle and chops into that brainstem. That's a knockout point. Thank you, Paul. I come right in and attack the Adam's apple. Thank you, Paul. So you poke from here right into the eye. Thank you, Paul. I hit him, comes flying back. If I miss, into there. Thank you, Paul. As you can see, there's a lot of force. Thank you, Paul. And we're squeezing hard behind the windpipe. Thank you, Paul. I follow through with the strike. Thank you, Paul. Wham, like that. Thank you, Paul. Kick, like that. Thank you, Paul. Coming right down on the skull. Thank you very much, Paul. 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 Out of that circle.
By following McSweeney's self-defense, you're going to be able to maintain a strong, healthy body and to protect it throughout your entire lifespan, or until you become disabled or fragile and weak.
Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight for all your blessings. You said in all things give thanks. So we want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. And most of all, we thank you for Roush and Yates partnering to give us the power that we see before us tonight. Thank you for GM Performance Technology and the R07 engines. Thank you for Sunoco Racing Fuel and Goodyear tires that bring performance and power to the track. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. My two children, Eli and Emma, or as we like to call them, the little E's. Lord, I pray you bless the drivers and use them tonight. May they put on a performance worthy of this great track. In Jesus' name, boogity, 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 amen.
Amen indeed. How are you guys doing today? I see that Mia is on her way to acquiring a giant plum awesome stick. That's what I call that. It looks like you're about to get a plum awesome stick, and I'm very proud of you. Hello, everybody. Hello. It is so good to see all of you today. I don't know if any of you guys watched the State of the Union. I personally could not get through it. I couldn't get through the first 4 minutes. It felt like somebody telling you about their big insurance settlement they just got from running you over. That's what it felt like. So I could not get through it. Also, I do have to say I did love the shade from the Supreme Court justices. I believe 5 chose not to show up, and I thought that was very amusing. I did watch the conference with the survivors, the Epstein survivors, and Chuck Schumer was there being very Schumery. And I really liked, one of them was really feisty. She got up there and she could probably end up in politics because she gave a very fiery speech, and I liked it a lot. And it was just, wow, it was intense. It made me a little teary-eyed, but I will say it's exactly what we needed. We needed something else, not that orange guy yelling at us how good things are while we are on fire. So I did watch that, and I thought the victims who chose to speak did very, very good. And if you didn't see it, I highly recommend going and watching it. But I do have a hell of an Epstein episode for you today. Also, if you liked the intro, that was by our own Derek Carney. That is, how loud am I being? I'm not being that loud. Derek Carney made that, and you can go to youtube.com at Derek Carney if you would like to see more of his jams. He makes very good mixes, and I enjoy them. And thank you, Derek. Thank you very much. I do have a couple of things on deck before we get into all the Epstein-y stuff. Good morning, baby boys and very total eclipse, Angela Wilder, Sister Wendy, Mia B. Doe, Reggie Ray. Everybody's here. The whole gang's here. I don't know if Steven's here, but if he is, earmuffs. Hello, just a crazy Jen. You're so crazy. Hello, Derek. And let me see who else is here. Who else is here? Angela Wildest. She is here too. Hello, everybody. Okay, so today, of course, I got to start you out on the right track because we're going to be talking about, here, let me pull this down. We're going to be talking about 2 situations in the Epstein files today. We're focusing on 2 because I think that's what I can handle. Every time I try to go for 3 or 4, I don't make it. Hello, Fuzzy Lou. I'm glad you're here. Also, by the way, I just saw that the weather in the Northeast is insane, and you guys are coupled just to the top of your heads in snow. Apparently it's a Proctor situation where they want you to believe that it was snowing a lot, and some people say it's not that much, but I look online and it looks like a lot. So I hope you're all okay. I don't know what's going on with that. Here is really ice cold at night, and then it is 80 to 90 in the day now in February. So that's awesome. Okay. Here's what I want to do. Today we're going to focus on two people. Okay, we're going to focus on in two situations. First, it's going to be our Peggy Day. I'm going to try not to devote the entire episode to Peggy, but old Peg, she is the one that I told you guys was the most fascinating, in my opinion, in the Epstein files. Like, she trips me out. She is unhinged as fuck. I don't think enough people talk about her. And she needs pop-pops. She needs to get spanked. She's insane. And I say this all for entertainment purposes only, and allegedly. Also, good morning, JG Cruz. How is our cult baby? Is it cooking up good? Is it fully baked? How are we doing there? I also found out from a TikTok that you can make bread out of tuna. And I think it's just like baking soda or baking powder or something, and tuna and something else. And I watched him make it and I was like, what? And I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to make tuna bread with tuna on top, and I'll let you know how that goes. Will it be too much tuna, as they say? I don't know, but I will report back. So yeah, we're going to talk about, oh my God, 1 week left. Only 1 week left before Cold Baby's here. This is so exciting. Oh my God. Also, Mia, I know you're focused on Plum Awesome sticks and stumps right now, but don't forget the shell bag, according to Total Eclipse. Don't you forget that shit. Sister Wendy, for Hugin? No, for us. I'm going to eat the tuna. Hugin can't have the tuna. Cold Baby can have the tuna when Cold Baby gets teeth. That's the rule. Can we agree on that, JG? I don't want to make mama rules for you, but come on. Cold Baby's got to have some teeth before we give the Cold Baby tuna. Anyway, we're going to focus on unhinged Peggy Siegel, publicist to the stars. Now disgraced publicist to the stars, it seems. About 2 years ago, her name came out in some Epstein files on an early drop, and that's when she was shaded from Hollywood. But now that they're all out, well, not all of them, but the ones that they'll let us see, the 3 million, the ones that don't have, or the ones that don't have Trump's crimes in them, those, they have a lot of Peggy. They have a lot of Peggy, and Peggy's been up to something. Peggy is nefarious, okay? If I had to pick someone out of the Marcus universe, I would say she's maybe Jimbo James. I don't know. She's pretty intense. She does a lot. She maybe does too much. A little bit of a Benedict Arnold, old Peggy. So we're going to focus on that. Yeah, and the ones that haven't disappeared. Dude, I swear they're just burning them in an incinerator and lying to us. So we're going to focus on Peggy, and then we're going to talk about Bannon's Build the Wall project and how that factors into the Epstein files. And along with Bannon, it is going to rope in Eva Dubin again and a couple of other people. And Trump. So you're going to see some really wild Epstein files today. And it's probably, I don't like saying favorite with this stuff. I don't like that word for this. So I don't know what word to use, but this is probably, I would say, the shit that I'm most keen on people saying, because these are people that are openly in society now, functioning like nothing fucking happened. One of them in particular, Bannon, is still like not only trying to push the same agenda he was in 2016 before he was found guilty, by the way, of the Build the Wall project scam, which we'll talk about. But he's still trying to push like this Project 2025 agenda and talking about how we're going to have ICE at the voting machines. We're going to, make sure that the votes are all counted and already here. And he's saying it like very condescending, like basically that we're going to make sure that certain votes are counted. And we're already seeing that here in Texas. A lot of women are being turned away at the polls and having to go back repeatedly because of some bullshit that like, oh, we don't have you on file, or we have you flagged for this thing. And there's like a lot of weird people at the polls who are breaking rules here, and it's only midterms and it's happening like that. And to hear Bannon threatening us, of all people, the guy who is like the most in the files next to Trump and Leon Black and Clinton, this motherfucker, needs to go away. And he had some very real power that was given to him directly by Trump. back then, and I'm going to show how he discussed it with Epstein compared to what he said in court. And I think that the drops between them are insane. And you're going to see Epstein explicitly say very directly to Eva Dubin that he is the one who can bring Trump down. And they very much fucked up on that redaction. So I'm going to show you all that today. For now, I've got a couple of other things to show you that I want to start with. So last week we talked about Les Wexner, right? And I told you guys about that shit his lawyer did. How his lawyer was like, you need to shut the fuck up. Or no, he says, don't say more than 5 words or I'll fucking kill you. Something like that. So I pulled it up here for you guys so you can hear it if you haven't yet. This is Les Wexner giving his testimony to the Oversight Committee, letting them ask him questions. And his attorney gets pissed off because he starts saying too much. And I'll show you the entire clip in context after I show you this part. Somebody enhanced it so you can hear it really good. Warning, if you have headphones on, this is going to be very loud, okay? It's going to be very loud. So here you go. I'm going to give you a 3, 2, 1. Answer another question. 5 words, okay? Answer another question. 5 words. I will fucking kill you if you answer another question in more than 5 words, okay? Okay. Answer another question. 5 words, okay? Jesus fucking Christ. I cannot. Holy hell, dude. That happened in front of the Oversight Committee. And here's the context for you. The part that made his attorney snap like that. Oh.
Personal.
The question was, how did you end up with Jeffrey, this lowly math teacher working for you, running your billion-dollar company's financials? How did that end up happening? And here's what he says.
Done personal work for the Rothschild family in France. Well, specifically, I talked to Ellie de Rothschild, and so I mentioned that earlier. So he represented their whole family. So there had been a whole bunch of people. I mean, most of them I never would have met, but I knew Ellie. He would say, like, I'm providing financial advice to the founders of Google. I'm providing financial advice to Jeff Bezos. Answer another question. 5 words, okay? Answer the question. Okay. Doing personal.
Kind of weird how when he brought up Jeff Bezos and how Epstein apparently gave Jeff Bezos financial advice, that's when his attorney is like, I will fucking kill you. Like, that's crazy. Oh my God, it's our attorney, Megan and Megan. Hello, Megan. Nice to see you. Would you represent Les Wexner if he just went off on the Rothschilds in the middle of a hearing? This attorney, I don't think you can say that. I don't think you can threaten someone's life. Oh, because that's the website or the YouTube channel. There's a GOP oversight channel on YouTube. Here, let me show you. This one, this is on Twitter. Well, this one is from there's GOP oversight on YouTube. If you go type it in now, it pops up, and any of the hearings they have for the Oversight Committee is on there. So yeah, that's where you can get the entire deposit or the testimony, the hearing. You can see that there. And you can also see the little snippets pulled from Twitter if you want to see the highlights. Yeah, don't you fucking say that again. Exactly. I'd be like, I'm paying you. You need to calm down. Okay. Couple more things we got here. Let me just pull this up in case you guys missed this one. Marjorie Taylor Greene came out. She's turned a new leaf. She's still a big old cunt, in my opinion. Pardon my French. But she is being very open with why Trump doesn't want these files released. And for those of you who haven't seen it yet, here you go.
That fight to release the Epstein files came directly from President Trump. And I know a lot of people have a hard time with that, but that is the truth. He fought the hardest to stop these files from being released. That fought.
So she's letting you know that he fought the hardest to make sure that those don't get released. But what's interesting is she also goes on to eventually say that he called her to chew her ass. And when she was like, Mr. President, if they can exonerate you, then why don't you want people to see them? And she straight up says, she's like, he told me because my friends will get in trouble. Here is another thing that happened. Some people, let me pull this up. Some people went to Epstein's mansion. I believe his Palm Beach house. Or no, the island. Sorry. They went to the island from the Virgin Islands, and they get over there and they go literally ape on his property. They just start running around like crazy. Check this out.
Epstein's house right there? No way. You're in fucking Epstein's backyard. What are those?
Are those little kid chairs? Like, what the fuck?
Oh, hell no. That's security. That's security. We gotta go. God damn it, man. Oh, they're here. They're here. Oh, fuck. No. Epstein's house right there? No way. You're in fucking Epstein's backyard. What are those?
Okay, guys, and I have to run outside to take Coogan out real quick. So I am going to pop back on. Give me just 1 second. Some videos I added for you that are applicable. These are, oops, hold on. These are on the lineup anyway. So let me put them on before I run them out. I know, honey. Oh yeah, no, it wasn't Palm Beach. It was the island. Sorry. I did not read it properly. Hoogan, I know, mommy's coming. I have to take him out. He has to pee. He just woke up and he's fussy. Okay, let's go, honey. Here you go. Please enjoy this while I attend to the Hoogs. Hoogs comes first, always. I'm sorry, guys. It's just how it is. I can't help it.
There are many figures in our society who contribute an enormous amount to our culture, and people who have unconventional personal lives. And yet they seem exempt from criticism. Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
No, let me finish. Jeffrey Epstein.
I see it.
No one, criticizes him, and yet.
Oh, wait a minute.
Is a double standard.
Jim,
it's wrong.
Jim,
And
hold
it's
on.
okay.
Hold on. Much has been said about Jeffrey Epstein. Terrible things.
No, Jeff. I'm talking about Jeff Epstein, the New York financier.
Yes, we're talking about the same Jeff Epstein.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I never heard.
Oh, it was a big story in the news. Huge.
No.
Yes, for you to say no one ever
Jeff
said.
Epstein.
Yes.
Jeff Epstein.
Yes, the financier.
With the island.
Yes, he had an island that I've never been to. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, with respect, if there was some news about Jeff Epstein, I would have heard.
No, I don't know what rock you've been under. It was a huge story, and Jeff Epstein I have to tell you, he's gone. He's dead.
What do you mean?
He's dead.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Sorry, nice try. If Jeff Epstein were deceased, I'm pretty sure I would know about it. Now, I admit I've not. Probably since the pandemic, I have not talked to him.
That would make sense. Sense. He's been dead for a number of years, Jim.
I'll tell you, there's one easy way. Let's call Ghislaine Maxwell.
No, we're not calling Ghislaine Maxwell.
Why not? Okay.
She's in prison. She's in prison for crimes she committed with Jeff Epstein.
Jelane's in prison.
Yes, stop calling her Gillette. How do you know these people? Jim.
Conan.
Jim.
All right.
Jim, listen.
Okay.
Listen
I'm
to me.
just saying, I'm your friend. You know what? It doesn't matter what you do in your private life.
I don't do anything in my private life.
Okay.
The Party Planner Video Guide. Volume 1, The Entertainers. An exotic dancer, anyone? Just sit back and watch him move to the rhythm of the music. And Kyle. Does the lady like an athletic physique? Then Kyle is the man to entertain her. Franco. Frankly, my dear, he'll give a damn good performance. He's always a favorite of all the girls. And then there's Tony. Turn up the heat and let Tony romance that birthday girl. Hollywood. Love that rock and roll look? Let a showman like Hollywood make your event one to remember. James. Hot cars, apple pie, and James' muscular physique are the American dream. He can really pump up the heat at any party. And now, Elena. Surprise your boss on his birthday with Elena's glamorous looks and...
Okay, so you may be wondering, like, why am I watching this party planner guide? It's because that's what Peggy did. Peggy was not just a publicist, but she was also a party planner. So I thought maybe we could watch how party planners are supposed to promote parties instead of how Peggy does it. I know, honey. Oh, let me get him a cookie.
Video Guide. Volume 1, The Entertainers. An exotic dancer, anyone? Just sit back and watch him move to the rhythm of the music. And Kyle. Does the lady like an athletic physique? Then Kyle is the man to entertain her. Franco. Frankly, my dear, he'll give a damn good performance. He's always a favorite of all the girls. And then there's Tony. Turn up the heat and let Tony romance that birthday girl. Hollywood. Love that rock and roll look? Let a showman like Hollywood make your event one to remember. James. Hot cars, apple pie, and James' muscular physique are the American dream. He can really pump up the heat at any party. And now, Elena. Surprise your boss on his birthday with Elena's glamorous looks and sultry dance just for him. Sin Simone. Hosting a Hawaiian luau? Let Sin Simone take you to paradise with a romantic island dance. It's Billy. For her over-the-hill birthday, make her feel young again with a performance from Billy. He can really get the blood pumping and the action going. Brad. Does she prefer the blonde, muscular type? Then don't disappoint her. Call Brad. His performance is one not to miss. Tons of fun. Surprise, surprise, it's a comedygram from Tons of Fun. She'll really, really make them laugh. The Mantastics. Not only are the Mantastics available for private parties, but they also perform at nightclubs, fundraisers, and group events. Pick from the best and call Bumps and Grinds Incorporated the Party Palace for all these exciting performers.
Bethany Frankel just made a response to being caught in Epstein's e-files. Here's everything she had to say. Bethany Frankel was getting called out after her name was mentioned in one of Epstein's emails, where he basically called her annoying and that he doesn't want to see her again. Well, apparently Bethany Frankel said Epstein invited her out to dinner when infamous Peggy Siegel, who was also involved in the e-files with Timothy Chalamet and Maddie Ziegler. She kicked Bethany Frankel out of this exclusive dinner that was for an event.
So these e-files are Me 2.0, whose name has been listed that I have known and met in my days in Hollywood, always seemed like a trash bag.
Okay, guys, I got to take Hugin on a walkie. He insists. It's not a cookie. He needs a walkie. What you're about to see, though, I know, honey. It's fine. It works out anyway. What you're about to see, come here. I just put his collar on him. He's getting crazy. You're about to see Bethany Frankel talking shit on Peggy Siegel. courtesy of this wonderful human in perfect makeup. And then you're going to see Peggy Siegel speaking at an event. And then I should be back and we will go over some of her files. I just want you to get an idea of who this chick is, okay? She's a publicist to the stars. She's basically like Samantha from Sex and the City. And I mean literally, because Candace Bushnell went to a bunch of her stuff. So check it out. She's now disgraced. Here we go.
Response to being caught in Epstein's e-files, and here's everything she had to say. Stephanie Frankel was getting called out after her name was mentioned in one of Epstein's emails, where he basically called her annoying and that he doesn't want to see her again. Well, apparently Bethany Frankel said Epstein invited her out to dinner when infamous Peggy Siegel, who was also involved in the e-files with Timothy Chalamet and Maddie Ziegler. She kicked Bethany Frankel out of this exclusive dinner that was for an event.
So these e-files are me 2.0, whose name has been listed, that I have known and met in my days in Hollywood. Always seemed like a trash bag. Couldn't put your finger on it, but made you feel uncomfortable. Just that sleazy vibe, you know, a way about talking to or grabbing a woman that you don't know. I digress. There's one person who is one of two of the nastiest people that I've ever met in Hollywood, and that is a statement. Both of them are publicists, and one is named Peggy Siegel. Her name keeps coming up around Ghislaine and around E, and guess what? She was the nastiest bitch I ever met. So I was dating Kevin Mazur, big famous photographer, first pictures of John Mayer and Jessica Simpson when they were together, took me to Hawaii to see Pearl Jam and U2 with the band. We were with the band, hanging with Laird and Gabby, took me to the Victoria's Secret fashion show, the Billboard Awards, to Rome to go be with Billy Joel, and Bryan Adams opened up for him when he performed in front of hundreds of thousands of people at the Coliseum in Rome. Like, I've done amazing things with this guy when I was nobody. So one night in the Hamptons on a weeknight, like, he invites me to a movie premiere, and not even the premiere, it's a screening. And I get to go to the after party because I'm uninvited to the screening. And it's at the Blue Parrot in East Hampton. And it's like a little dive Mexican restaurant, nothing. Mason jars and tequila, like my favorite. So I'm there, and this woman with this short haircut and these big buggy eyes is like fixated on me. She's just like irritated that someone that's not at the level is there, and I wasn't invited. And so she's totally fixated. You could see her like, wait, who is it? Who is that? Who invited her? Why is she here? Why is she here? It wasn't packed. So she has me thrown out. And I go out into the parking lot with my mason jar, my frozen margarita under my shirt, feeling like a friggin' loser. I was nobody.
Well, now people are saying me looking up who Peggy Siegel is. I was going through the email website and seeing an email for Peggy Siegel and J.E. that said that could bring something up for him if he wanted boy or girl. Ooh. I don't know. Do you guys think that Bethany Frankel is innocent or not? She was quick to respond. Ooh, T, this is getting messy.
On the toting fields, exactly. Okay, I'm going to introduce the film, and then I'm going to introduce everybody here, and I want everyone's undivided attention, okay? Welcome to Universal's Lunch for Green Book. As you probably know by now, Green Book is slowly becoming a phenomenon. These astute filmmakers... And if you don't know what Green Book means today, you will know tomorrow. Let's leave it up to Skip. Okay. These astute filmmakers have won no less than 13 film festivals, starting with Toronto Audience Award. The film is also a career change for comedic director Peter Farrelly, and this is his first time on the awards circuit. So let's... Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali display an amazing on-screen chemistry that reflects their off-screen love for each other. Okay, a little love for you guys? All right. The film opens Friday in New York and LA and goes wide on Wednesday right before Thanksgiving, so you can tell all your friends to go. Also, we please welcome narrator Skip Gates, who needs little introduction, as he is our company's most esteemed historian on African American studies. All right, I just want to point out that Mahershala, I can say her name, Mahershala. Yes, because I worked on his Oscar campaign 2 years ago for Moonlight. So before I get into the Alfred, I'd like to just acknowledge that Alfred Urey is here in the audience today. Alfred Urey wrote Driving Miss Daisy. That film won 4 Oscars 30 years ago for screenplay, picture, Jessica Tandy, and we think costumes. And we hope lightning strikes twice.
Yeah.
We have Peter, Vico, Mahershala, Brian Hayes Curry. Can you come up? Okay, producer, writer. Nick Valawanga. That wasn't easy to do. Producer and writer. Charlie Wessler, producer. Jim Burke, producer, and Chris Bowles, the composer. All right, just give him a round of applause for an amazing, amazing work.
This is an irony. On the very day the mayor of this city has a delegation down on the border, they're persecuting people here and trying to stop them on the border. This is all about 60 days from the day. 60 days from the day.
Breaking news, former Trump advisor Steve Bannon.
Okay. So, yes, I agree with you guys. That is also not how I pictured Peggy Siegel at all. I actually think she kind of looks like the lady from, is it Suddenly Susan? I think it is Suddenly Susan. Anyway, sorry, it went into the Steve Bannon build the wall part, and that's my bad, but it's actually Hugin's bad because he had to take a big shit. Yeah, I kind of pictured her looking like Peggy Bundy, but probably because, you know, her name is Peggy, so that's bad. Yeah, we like to call him the human, or the Steve Bannon is the personified Mucinex goblin. Horrible, horrible man. Ugh. Yeah, troll. He's got a big cold sore all the time. Like every time, it's always in a different spot. Like, no shade on people with cold sores, but like when you have one in every picture all the time, always, like, fucking do something. Like, go to a doctor. Yeah, I don't know. I think because Chris Angel also got rid of his shadow, and I have questions. How do we know it's really Shaq? I don't, you know, it's a great question. Also don't know. We have to ask Chris Angel. That's what I'm saying. If we can just harness the mind freak, we can figure this out. But nobody wants to. Hello, Vermont Bread. Nice to see you. Okay. Well, you know, we'll send help. We will send help to come levitate you. Okay. Chris Angel, mind freak, levitated Shaq. And maybe Flava Flav. I don't know what kind of powers he has, but he was there. He was there. Anyway, thank you guys for giving me a moment with the Hoogs. I apologize. I normally don't like to just let the videos play through on their own. I like to have a little commentary, but you know, it is what it is. I have to attend to the Hoog, and he is my baby boy, and I love him. So, some more Peggy Siegel. Let's take a look at her. Excuse me, I had to do a cough. And I don't like to do that into the microphone. Hello, VMB. Okay, so this is Peggy. This is Peggy. Isn't she lovely? What a great looking lady. She's got a big square jaw. She doesn't look passed away in this picture, but she does look like a ghost. This woman is very tall. As you can see, she's always wearing a lot of jewelry. She poses with a lot of people. She's dressed like a pillow there. She's with a lot of stars all the time. She's with Brooke Shields. She parties in the Hamptons. You know, she does all these parties with all the elites. She has been known to cavort with people like, oh, would you know it? Woody Allen, Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump, Blake Lively, fucking Kevin Spacey. Oh, look, there's Steve Martin. And, you know, all these different stars. Like, she's super well connected. Jake Gyllenhaal, she made the Nightcrawler premiere. She's the publicist to the stars. But as you heard Bethany Frankel say earlier, Bethany thinks she's kind of a C unit, and that is not the only person in Hollywood who says that. A lot of people have had a lot to say about Peggy, and that is before and after the Epstein files. Over here, she's with a man covered in stains, so that's fun. Give me 1 second. Okay, so why am I bringing up Peggy? Because a simple search of Peggy Siegel in documents will show you so many things, so many things. And you know how I told you guys that not everybody in the Epstein files is a corrupt asshole. Not everybody is in there for nefarious purposes. There are actually people in there who are just collateral damage. You know, there are people who happen to be around someone, who happen to be around him, or they happen to be hired by him for a brief period of time and never came in contact with the girls on the island, or really the island, or any part of his realm of dirt. There are people who worked for him who were literally kept apart from all that and had no idea what was going on. There were people who people like, for example, Louis Black, the comedian. He's openly talked about how, yeah, I met Epstein once. He's like, I had no idea what this guy fucking did. And he's like, and then after I met him, I looked him up and I was like, Jesus. And I never saw him again. And I told other people, like, especially comics, like, don't go near him. You know, look what this fucking dude did. So, you know, there are people who also, like, for example, Jake Gyllenhaal, people who attended the New York Observer bash who didn't know him, and they were just there and they didn't have any interaction with him. Then there's other people like Jared Kushner and Ivanka who helped put the list together because she was the PR agent for it, who planned the entire thing, and they said cordially invite Epstein. And that's just kind of weird considering, you know, Donald was on that list too, and I thought he stopped talking to him in 2005, so that's kind of weird. But the thing about Peggy is, I don't think, I'm of the opinion, this is just my opinion, that she's very much not collateral damage, and I'll show you why. I'll show you why, because Peggy not only very well knew about Epstein, it seems that she facilitated a few things, and not just that. She was also utterly boring. Like, she drove me nuts. But I found this to be weird. She has a lot of subject lines like yacht slut, which is fun. Here's one of her emails to Jeffrey Epstein in 2010. So keep in mind, this is well after he has been put out there as a known sex pervert, pedophile, sex trafficker. In fact, Peggy not only knew, she made it her personal mission, according to her, to revamp his career. She was going to revamp, or his image, I should say. She's like, I'm going to revamp your image. And not just that, she would openly talk shit about the victims. And you're going to see some of that stuff. She would say, why can't these girls get a job? These women are using you. And she even considered Epstein himself the victim, saying things like, oh, you have an addiction, or you have this problem you need to get help for, and they're taking advantage of it, and you're vulnerable. Like, it's so gross. She also was buddies with Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, all these people who have a lot of shit against them. But anyway, forgot to tell you, as a thank you to Denise Rich for having me on her boat in St. Tropez, Ship of Fools, my office is helping her with event press coverage for her dead daughter's cancer benefit, Angel Ball, in October. First of all, she can't spell words, just like Epstein. Second of all, what the fuck? For her dead daughter's cancer benefit is a crazy thing to put. Didn't want to think I am a world-class snorer, which she spelled wrong. And also, again, you're talking about a woman's dead daughter's cancer benefit. And she goes right into packing for East Hampton. Have Eat, Pray, Love Sunday night. It's Mamma Mia without dancing. Will do list in a car. Peg. So that's one of Peg's emails. That is very interesting. As you can see, she tends to not really have a filter, nor does she tend to show very much care when she's talking about people, especially people in perhaps fucked up situations. Let's take another look at some more Peggy stuff. Okay, so this one, I'm going to try to have these pulled up quicker for you. Okay, so this is a big one. This is Peggy, and she will put a title on things. Okay, so she will not always use the subject line as it's supposed to be. She will double down and put a title with the exact same thing. I don't know why she does this. It drives me nuts. Give me 1 second. And I'm back. Title last night. This is to Jeffrey. 1, great to see you. You look sensational for a free Jew. She's saying this because she's considering him free, as his probation, I believe, ended or ends soon. Please put tape up forest green paper and or rich chocolate brown all over hallways and around paintings of tapestries covering the lavender. Please consider doing shiny lacquered walls for brilliance and shine. Felt might absorb too much light. This is so much cheaper solution before you start tearing down the walls and creating a major construction site before your yum dinners. Also, dark hallways walls will be great to contrast it, blah blah blah. I love the idea of small dinners, but not too small because house is too big. Think of Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur, which she couldn't spell right. Think about getting top political military minds to speak. This is her ideas for Jeffrey's party, okay? You put a list together, and I will too. You need to tell hot Jews soon before their relatives make them come to their tables, so timing is important. It will be easier to get smart goyim on those nights because no one plans major social events. Actually, we'll check with Mona Ackerman. She lives with Richard Cohen from the Washington Post and see if she does anything. Also, she has the tie-in real close to Huffington Post and Washington Post, which is interesting because there were actual articles and commentary ran in the Huffington Post defending Jeffrey for saving science from Trump, which oddly he celebrated Trump being stupid when talking to Steve Bannon so that he could specifically sweep in and donate a bunch of money to science when Trump basically pulled a bunch of money from science over some sort of research shit. Oops, what the hell? Child abduction. Oh goodness. Okay, well, we just got an alert here. Okay, never mind. So anyway, this is a weird situation, right? Because it's just strange how Peggy says she's going to revamp his reputation. And then all of a sudden she's running these she's basically speaking with the New York Times guy and 2 other people and trying to arrange to get Jeffrey a column, and somebody ends up writing a column about him, and we're going to go over that later. It's just very interesting because she's really working hard to revamp his reputation. So over here, she's helping him plan a party. This is supposed to be his big comeback to help him. One of many she attempts. Okay. You might have to personally call the guests and then send the two remind card and email. Your personal touch is important on the first few. 3, I'm going to Venice Film Festival, arriving, blah, blah, blah. I have an assignment from Avenue and Press Credentials. Julian Schnabel, Darren Aronofsky, Sofia Coppola, and Julia Taymor are some of the directors showing their films. I have my plane ticket. I have not made plans to stay any place yet. Can I get some prices on hotels, and would you consider helping me out? It's only 5 nights. If not, I can ask Louisa Bescar. So she's trying to shake him down for a place to stay, getting him to pay for it. So Peggy, she gets her shit in exchange for Jeffrey picking up the tab. And she will revamp his rep, is what I seem to be getting from a lot of these emails. And this one shows it pretty obviously, where she's like, hey, you want to get this 5 nights for me? You want to help me with these hotels? This will be my 5th trip to Europe this summer, and aside from Cannes, I've been the most successful yacht slut. Okay, well, there you go, Peggy. I will work on Yum Yum dinner lists today and get you by the end of the day or Monday. I have no idea what the reaction will be to your re-entry into society, but take it slow and stay quiet. She meant take it, but she always misspells. Now, this is a key. So he is just getting off probation, you guys, for child sex trafficking. Okay? And as much as Dershowitz likes to say it was just prostitution with a 17-year-old, no. Because a 17-year-old cannot be a prostitute. She is a child. So with that said, for Peggy to not only help him with this big party, this line right here is key. I think this is the backbone to everything she thinks she can do for him. I have no idea what the reaction will be to your re-entry into society, but take it slow and stay quiet. Your friends are there for you, and at least the house is drop dead gorgeous. Every fag decorator with an immediate interest in Israel will be begging for a look. Peggy, do you see this shit? Not only that, she dropped the fag. She literally put that in an email. She talks like this. This is how this woman fucking talks. This is the PR bitch to the stars. And this paragraph right here is the most Peggy shit. It is the most Peggy shit. She's a scumbag. She's a fucking dirtbag, in my opinion. And I think Cruella de Vil is a great example. She would definitely wear a puppy coat, in my opinion. So let's keep moving on. Here is someone talking about Peggy Siegel to Jeffrey. And I thought this was interesting because Peggy's everywhere. She's all over town at all times. Okay. And there's no better way to see that than going through the emails under Peggy Siegel, because my God, Peggy, everyone knows you and everyone has a story. Hi, Jeffrey. How are you? I saw Peggy Siegel last night in Palm Beach. And of course, we talked about you and both decided you should get married. She should be established, preferably with a PhD. They get them at age 28 these days. So this is someone who knows he likes them young, but they're going with 28. Elizabeth played me for a fool. She spent 3 weekends with me and didn't have sex, and I bought her a beautiful pearl necklace. At least you're not an asshole like I am. Summers and my divorce is moving ahead. Though we spend time together, I met a great woman in Ho Tung. She is 50 and beautiful. Her father is Stanley Ho's brother. She is blonde with blue eyes. Her father is half He's and her mother is English. I don't know what that means. Don't know if she likes me back in NY. First best, Jonathan. Oh, you are a year older in January. Ha 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 ha. I looked up who this was, which Jonathan this was, and it was just kind of weird. He's just some sleazebag, but we'll come back to that. I just thought it was kind of weird how they've decided, him and Peggy have decided that he should get married. And this is 1 year later. Now, she's been working on his reputation for about a year. Has she been successful? I don't think so. I just don't think so. Now, this is the one that's going to make you squirm. This is the one that pisses me off. I title these Bad Peggy 1, 2, and 3. Because, wow, Peggy, what a scumbag. There is a reason she was canceled 2 years ago when the shit came out. So first, let's take a look here. All right. So this is let me see. This is one that I believe could possibly be from Peggy's assistant. Because when Peggy wanted to tell Jeffrey that there were young girls there, Peggy would do it herself. But when Peggy didn't want young girls there, they would block out the name. And I think that's because it was Peggy's assistant. Peggy says she does not want young girls with no last names at the screening on Wednesday night of the campaign. She says the press will be there. She requests over 30. So Peggy knew that he liked young girls. And for the specific one, no young girls with no last names, which tells you what? That Jeffrey had previously shown up at screenings with young girls that didn't have last names. And Peggy's letting him know not to do that. Why? Not because it's wrong, not because it's nasty, not because they're too young and you should go to jail. No, because the press will see. It only matters if the press sees, apparently. So disgusting. So disgusting. Now, here you go. This is another one that really bothers me. This is Peggy directly to Jeff, November of 2010. So it's before the last one. We'll email invites for the week. Have a party at Rouge Tomate for Love and Other Drugs. Anne Hathaway and Jake Gyllenhaal in it and here. Valentino hosting. All the young girls, all dressed by Vava. Want to come? Peg. And this is him letting her know he's back. So he lets her know he's back in town. She says, you want to come to a party with Anne Hathaway and Jake Gyllenhaal for this movie? All young girls. See what I mean? When there's young girls, Peggy's going to let Jeffrey know personally. Disgusting. That's enabling, in my opinion. I think it's enabling. I think it's really nasty. So, I have another one that's a triplicate of a Peg email. And these are hard to read. There's a lot of errors in there due to the program used to put these in the downloads. But we'll try to get through it together. And we know this is from Peggy because it says XOXOXO Peggy. Yet they managed to black her out for some reason, but they couldn't do that for the victims. Wild. Okay. This is December 10th, 2018. So this is, also, hello, Claudia. So this is a good while before Jeffrey's killed himself. And I believe after the investigation into him started, the second go around. And things are looking bad for him in the press. And Peggy says, I've been thinking of you for days and apologize for not writing sooner. The good news is we are in the middle of award season frenzy before some Hollywood heads for Christmas vacation on December 21st. Business is very good. We are living in a very weird political and social time, and technology has become a weapon of accusation, punishment, and righteousness. This is not going to get any better. In Hollywood, men's lives are completely destroyed because celebrity is held to a higher standard. I'm not defending wrongdoing. I just can't understand why there is no legal second act of redemption. I have to get ready for an 8 a.m. plane from LA to NYC right now, and we'll write more later. I told you a few years ago To be the poster boy for making amends, I suggested inventing a support system to aid disadvantaged young women. I do not know if this is too late, but this self-inflicted nightmare is not going away. So she knows it's self-inflicted. This is his fault. Also, that is a terrible piece of advice. Hey, you sex-trafficked young women, why don't you invent a support system to aid disadvantaged young women? Hey, why don't you hang out around more vulnerable women? Since in the past you have taken advantage of. That is terrible advice, Peggy. You fucking idiot. In my opinion, for entertainment purposes only. You need to own a recovery program. No one has guts to do this. It has to start somewhere. Education is your roots from math at Dalton. These young girls need help to learn how to make a living and not by praying to men. Peggy. So, Peggy's a piece of shit. And this is how she talks about people. This is how she talks about people. Now, I am going to, let's take a little, we're going to do a little buffer here. Okay. While I pull up this next document, please hold.
Hello, folks, Nuck here. A lot of you have been asking me about my morning routine, so here it is. It's my new teeth. Snort-worthy smile, if you ask me. So I like to start my morning by waking up at 2 in the afternoon, get a quick lift, lick, and lurk in before I go off and spend the next several hours in the woods. And this time is mainly for my freeform lurks. I just lurk like no one's watching. Then I head into town to do some casual creeping. I mean, I'm freaking everyone out because I'm getting in my squirms. But you gotta squirm to stay firm. I forget what I'm doing for the next 3 days and get an office job that I absolutely hate. Spend most of my time hiding in the storage closet, but all my coworkers know I'm in there. The next 26 hours I'm purposefully unconscious. Come to so I can try on some tuxes because I'm getting married. Love to Ragnora. I'll practice my funeral for 30 minutes, at which point I gotta pretend to listen to someone tell me about a dream they had, but I'm really just thinking about what I'm gonna say. Then, and this is important, I'll just wait, eerily, for hours. What am I waiting for? A big heap of nothing. I wait to wait. I'll spend 2 minutes trying to create fire with my mind, giving me just enough time for a last lurk before the day begins. That's the
Get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Big boy ain't getting on the roof. Never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Big boy ain't getting on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy drill on the roof. Never seen a big boy drill on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy drill on the roof. Big boy drilling on the roof. Big boy drilling on the roof. Big boy ain't drilling on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Big boy ain't climbing on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. How you do it like that? Damn, you got tools on your back. Climbing on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Shit, big boy get loose. Shit, big boy get loose. I ain't never see a big boy drill on the roof. I ain't never shoot when you going on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy hop on the roof. How you do it like that? Look, shit, you just let it back. Shit, pick up your back. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Get on the roof. Get on the roof. Get your ass out the roof. Get your ass back out the roof. I ain't never see a big boy leap on the roof. Get the big ass out.
Okay, and we're back. So, while we're talking about Peggy Siegel, let's take a look at how much money it looks like she was paid. It looks like from Epstein for her services of doing a piss poor job of revamping his reputation. So, let's make this nice and big. Peggy Siegel Inc. And as you can see, the date starts up here in 2011 and goes down. $469,700 $81. So almost $500,000 for just the third quarter of 2011. Now, she represented him for a long time. It looks like it could have been up to a decade. That comes out to what? $2 million for a year? That's so much money. And everyone still knows him as a big stinky pedophile. Like, it didn't work at all. Let's take another look at some more Peggy emails. Okay. So this is somebody writing to Peggy saying, Jeffrey's going to be in town this week. Are you around? Now, I'm thinking that this could possibly be Leslie because it says assistant. And then right here, yes, I'm around. Jackie has my schedule. Please tell Jeffrey that Harvey Weinstein paid me the $90,000 he owed me for a year. Peggy. Holy shit. Like, is she saying this because she took another loan from Jeffrey? Or she was going to try to take one? I don't know. But it's very clear that Peggy is the one to go to if you are a rapist and you need someone to cover your ass. Like, obviously. So let's keep going. And by the way, you'll notice Andres is up here. That is Peggy's assistant. And I don't know why he's blacked out in the other emails and not these. Seems like there's a bit of inconsistency here. Now, let's take a look at 2017, which is not that long ago. And she's still fucking with Jeffrey. She's still buddies with him. This is from someone to Peggy. I'm presuming this is probably Jeffrey's assistant, if I remember correctly. Hi, Peggy. It's definitely Leslie. Jeffrey's asking if you might have 2 extra tickets to your event tomorrow night. And if so, could we please give them to his 2 assistants? Please let me know. I have 2 tables. Both are filled with 12 at each. I mixed the 12 tickets I sold and the 12 tickets Jeffrey underwrote. So now we know that Jeffrey has underwritten quite a few tickets because he does this at a lot of events. He will buy a bunch of tickets for random people and then expect them to be available for him or his friends last minute. I sold the 12 tickets Jeffrey underwrote. Now, she obviously sold them because she hadn't heard from him. I cannot take those tables apart at this last date. They have all been approved by the people sitting at them last week. I will send Jeffrey the table seating so he can see who is coming. I will call Lincoln Center to see if I can get 2 more tickets. The show will probably be doable. I don't know about the seated dinner. I will try. Back to ASAP, Peggy. Lincoln Center. Wow, interesting. In 2017? Okay, Peggy, totally understand. Do keep me posted if you are able to get the tickets for the show. Spoiler alert, she got the tickets. All right, so I do believe she did, unless that was another one, because the thing is, Jeffrey tries to go to all these events, and if he can't go, he sends his assistants. Okay, so down here, we have to go to the bottom, I believe, on these. Okay, so just confirming today's conference call for 4 p.m. Should I send around a dial-in or will be receiving a call at the office? Amanda. Assistant to Peggy, by the way. Also, Peggy wanted me to make sure that Mr. Epstein gets a chance to talk to Martin O'Connor separately before the call. Amanda. It's in 2014. Jeffrey will call Martin today at 3 p.m. Okay, great. Will Peggy be joining them on a call following that? All the best, Amanda. I don't know. You'll need to ask her, I suppose. Can you get the dial-in details for the 4 p.m. call? Let me know as well. Blah, blah, blah. Mr. Epstein be able to connect with Peggy at 5 p.m. instead. I will call to see Martin O'Connor. Well, this is... I thought the idea was to have Jay and Martin speak prior to the 4 p.m. conference call. I apologize. 4 p.m. is still fine. So Peggy used to try to set Jeffrey up with different people. And she would do this by saying, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna talk with both of you guys, and then I'm gonna leave. And it was like her way of getting Jeffrey in, but kind of abandoning the person. And from what I heard from a couple of other, or I guess I should say what I read from a couple of other accounts of what Peggy was up to, this seemed to be common for her, and not just with like people on the phone, but in person. So she was all about like, oops, I have to go, and then leaving you alone with someone. And to me, that just seems so fucking manipulative. And I just think that when you're considering her going, oh, and there's going to be a bunch of young girls there, it's like, ew, dude. That's why I think she's like baby Jelaine, you know? She's basically there to try to hook up Jeffrey with whoever she fucking can. Okay, so the invoice from Peggy, we already did that. Also, there's quite a few emails to Rich Kahn, and we're going to talk about Rich Kahn later, but he was Jeffrey's assistant, and he has a very weird past, like not much there about him. He's the guy who was like, yeah, I worked for him, but I had a new baby on the way. But it's like he also paid off some of the girls, and he was also a witness on a bunch of marriage certificates. Him and another guy named Indike. And we're going to go real deep into them eventually, but him and his emails with Peggy are essentially all just, what does Jeffrey need to pay for you? So it wasn't just all those millions of dollars that he was paying her, but she was also talking with Rich frequently about, can he pay for my flight here? Can he pay for my hotel here? So Peggy was mooching off of this big time. Let me go ahead. And she would give tidbits of advice, okay? Like tidbits of advice. And this is the extent, it seems, of her PR job, was either getting him to a party, telling him where the young girls are and which ones to not bring young girls to. And then also like shit like this last line, but let's read the whole thing. Philip. So this is Leslie Groff to Felicia. So Leslie is copied in it. Peggy messaged Felicia. Gary Siegel, any news? Philip, I'm in Europe working and will be back in the States on June 3rd. I have not heard from you. I can only assume that you still have not gotten any response from Gary's lawyer. Please be kind enough to respond either way. You have heard or you have not. I feel your silence indicates how busy you are on other things. Thank you again, Peggy. So why is this weird to me? Because she says this shit to Jeffrey too. I feel your silence is damning. You need to say something, Jeff. Like, that is the extent of her PR. It's like, do you think you could maybe respond to someone? Because it feels weird. Phil, do we suggest asking whether or not they would prefer a lawsuit be fired? Gary will have to pay my fees and will lose. Please advise today. Jeffrey and I are waiting on your input. Thank you. So her and Jeffrey are going to end up suing someone for not paying some shit. Phil, what is happening? Please update me ASAP. Thank you. Back from Cannes Film Festival on June 3rd. Would like to know if you've spoken to Gary's lawyers. What is the status? Thank you in advance for responding. Anytime you see a thank you in advance, it's like, oh shit, this bitch is pissed. Okay? So, this is another one I thought very interesting. From someone to Jeffrey. And it says in response to Peggy Siegel. Let's take a look at this one. Peggy Siegel's office is asking me for the details of a dinner party you are having on Sunday. Okay for me to provide? Are you inviting Peggy? She should talk to me. I do not want her staff involved, is what Jeffrey says. Okay, I will email Peggy herself. So this is interesting because even though it's 2011, okay, this is like the first year, if anything, the second quarter, I believe, no, the first quarter where she is helping him in the second year, right? So that's 2 quarters total. So 8 months about, it seems. And that far in, Jeffrey is already like, Peggy needs to respond to me directly. I don't want to talk to her staff because he doesn't feel comfortable sending a guest list to them. The guest lists he wants to handle are between Peggy and him. And do you remember how I showed you the Jared Kushner New York Observer party? And then there was another one that has Trump listed on it, and it also has Jared and Ivanka, and it's the one from Peggy where they're doing a screening for Les Mis, and Jeffrey's putting it all on. That's this one. So he doesn't want to give this guest list to anybody, not even her assistants. It has to be straight with her. And now we know why, because the Trumps were on it. And I just think that's absolutely insane. And not just them, but like Blake Lively, Harvey Weinstein, like all the scumbags of this generation are fucking on there. So yeah, that's just a couple of insights into Peggy Siegel. There are much worse ones. I could go on and on about her. The worst ones are mainly just the way she talks about the girls. We're probably going to talk about her again, but we do absolutely need to move on to the Steve Bannon conversation. Also, where is it? Let me pull this up. I do have a couple of things to show you before we get there. Where is she now? Okay. So about 2 years ago, one of the emails came out with her, and a big article hit the press in LA Times. I think it was LA Times. It could have been Wall Street Journal. And she's mentioned as being the person who was charged with revamping Epstein's reputation. And when everyone found that out, people were like, oh, fuck, oh, shit, not cool. So, and here, let me show you this other one. And so when that happened, everybody in Hollywood was like, get away from me. And she also was besties with like Soon Yi and shit like that. And so the whole Woody, Soon Yi, Harvey, Kevin Spacey connection was already not sitting well with people, because she also worked heavily with George Stephanopoulos, Katie Couric, like people who didn't want that in their image at all. So once that hit, pretty much everyone fired her. Like, she got fired from every contract you can imagine. Like, a couple of people kept her, but they were considered nobodies in Hollywood. Like, no one will touch her with a 10-foot stick to hire her for like a big presentation for or what do you call it, a press junket or a red carpet. Like, she's pretty much relegated to Hamptons parties. And around the time she was getting canceled, right before that, there was a birthday party for her in the Hamptons, and the most that you can find on it is like an AI video about it with a couple of pictures that someone pulled off a private like Facebook page. But what's crazy is that before that, in all those years when Peggy would have a party, like Reuters would show up, like Getty Images would get involved, like you would have to pay money for a picture of her. And now it's like there are a couple of weirdos on the internet are making AI videos of her. That's all you get. So it's safe to say she's pretty much toast, I guess would be the best way I could say that. So let me just here before we move on to Steve Bannon's wall, does anyone have any other questions about Peggy? Is there anything you want to know about old Pegster? Old Peggy McPegerson? Because if not, I do have some things I'd like to show you. This is a grandmother. We're going to buffer before we get into the wall stuff. This is a grandma who got pranked. If you have any questions or any comments about Peggy that you'd like to make, you can put them in the chat and I will answer them after we watch this video. Okay, this is a grandma who got pranked, I guess, by her granddaughter for she was supposed to go to the beach and just like walk around at the beach and have a good day. And she drops her off to go on a hike, and it turns out it's a nude beach, and she was just pranking her, and this is her getting back in the car. Fuzzy Lou, please put your question in the comments. I'd love to answer. Here we go.
Was it a long ways out there? What? What?
Exactly what that was, didn't you? You knew what it was. That bird
heartburn? You knew exactly what that was. Didn't you? What? Trish, you did. No, I didn't. I swear you did. What? They're naked. Trish, you knew that. No. I honest to God, I walked up and I looked down the road, and there was sat a man in a chair and a woman right beside him. They both didn't have stitch clothes on. And he was sitting there. I couldn't see nothing. I couldn't see his Tom. All I could see was that other. And his Tom must have been so little. So that's the reason I didn't see it. Well, I didn't believe what I was looking at. And I looked again, and I thought, well, that's the only two out here that's like that. And I looked, and here come this man woman walking down the beach, and he didn't have stitch one clothes on. Honest to God, Trish, you know what you send me. And you know exactly what you sending me to. And he don't say a thing in the world about anybody being naked. Nowhere. Oh my God. What if we'd got out and took them two boys out there and then people naked? Oh God, I'm done. That woman was walking on this side of her husband, so I didn't see nothing of him except when she got a little bit ahead of him. I seen his buttocks. Lord have mercy, God. That didn't be all I have ever in my life seen. That woman, honest to God, she was that big and her boobs was that big, hanging there. I've never in my life. I mean, right at me. Where I walked up, it was right at me. And I couldn't help but look. I looked twice, but that's all I looked. Booger Man made me look twice. I've never seen nothing like that in my life.
And I love her. Cold darn naked. They're buck ass naked. No, it's totally different, not related to Katie Seagal, but that would be hilarious because Peggy, I get it. I get the connection. I see where you're going. That's why I thought she would look like Peg Bundy, but she didn't. She didn't. So why do I say that she's essentially not one of those people who is not really one to ignore? You know, she's not one of those people who just happen to be there a bystander. You know, Peggy was openly pushing younger. Like, there's going to be young girls there. There's going to be young girls, young pretty girls. She was a fixer, and it was quite literal too. She would be like picking out who's going to sit where at the party. We need to get you in touch with politicians. We need to get you around these people. These girls need to learn how to stand on their own. Putting him at events with Jared and Ivanka, who 100 and Donald, where 100% they were not supposed to be together, right? Yet Peggy still cordially invited him on behalf of Donald, Ivanka, Katie Couric, Blake Lively. That's the way the invite is laid out. It's really nuts. And to know that, like, hey, the paparazzi is going to be here, so try to keep them over 30 and make sure they have a last name. Like, you knew the whole time, even to the point where she even suggested he go to rehab. Like, you can't rehabilitate that shit, Peg. Sitting there dropping the fag bomb on people, like, that's crazy. Peggy. She was trash. In my opinion, she was a trash ass person. And not only that, she has a nice little Prince Andrew email too in the files. It goes straight to George Stephanopoulos. You know him, right? From the news. Thursday, small dinner for Prince Andrew. Look at that date. She invites Jeffrey to a dinner on that date. And look right here. Please, so come to blank for a very interesting dinner. Let's see what it says. George, do not think less of me, but I'm putting together a very last minute casual dinner for Prince Andrew, who is in New York on an unofficial private visit. Please come and bring Ollie. The list so far, and we are keeping this private and small, Prince Andrew, Woody Allen and Soon Yi, Katie Couric, Jeffrey Epstein, where Andrew is staying. So now you know that Jeffrey Epstein was staying with Prince Andrew 2010 for a small dinner. Jeffrey's house is the one largest single dwellings in New York. It's beautiful. So come to blank. I think we know where the blank is. For a very interesting, fast, fun dinner. Peggy. It's a hell of a lineup there. Andrew is staying with Jeffrey. Katie Couric's going to be there. Woody Allen, Soon Yi, Prince Andrew, Peggy, George Stephanopoulos, Allie. Come to Jeffrey's house, obviously. That's why she's bragging about it. Why black out the address? So weird. So weird. Anyway, before we move on, I do have one more really funny video I'm going to show you. But we can't have the song on because it will definitely get us copyright struck. So I'm going to play it for you. And I'm going to put music on in the background because it's hilarious. And yes, it's T-Ball. Why? Because T-Ball is so funny. I'm obsessed with these T-Ball compilations. These kids can't play for shit. They're really bad at it. And it makes me laugh because they're kids. They don't fucking know how to play ball. And that's fine. It's hilarious. It really is. I mean, it's hilarious. Stop, you coached T-Ball. Shut up. Was it fun? Dude, look at these kids. They're so hilarious. My favorite is, I'm going back. This kid, amazing, but the kid, boom. The dad just knocks it off. I don't know. There's nothing in there that leads us to believe he is. It's just weird that he, in my opinion, it's weird that he's just, I think it's weird that him and Katie Couric, honestly, are going to hang out with Jeffrey Epstein. They're fucking reporters. Like, they're fucking reporters at that point. You would think they knew, like everybody knew. And also, if they didn't know, that just goes to show you how Peggy was pretty predatory, in my opinion. Because if I were a Hollywood celebrity and Peggy put me in that position where she's inviting me to these parties, knowing that these people are like predators, like sex offenders, and not telling me, like if Peggy invited you to a private dinner party at a pedo's house and she was your PR person, your publicist, I would be so pissed off. I'd be like, what the fuck, Peggy? Why would you set me up like that? It's really gross. Like, it's really crazy and gross. I don't understand how someone didn't stop her, you know? Offense is investigating Charles Kushner racing because he was convicted for crimes in the past, and he was pardoned by Trump and then sent to France as an ambassador. And then Charles apparently hired a prostitute he knew to seduce his brother-in-law, Jared's uncle, and then arranged to record an encounter between the two and had the tape sent to his sister. So imagine if you went to your sister's husband, bought him a French prostitute, taped it, and then sent that tape to your sister. That is what Jared Kushner's dad did. And I believe he's being investigated right now. But this is this is a very interesting interview where it is spoken about. Is this Chris Christie? I think it is. It looks like.
I want to talk about Jared Kushner because, frankly, it comes down that he's the one who fired you, right?
That's what Steve Bannon told me, yes.
And you believe that?
Sure.
Right. You believe that because there's history between the two of you.
Between me and his father, not between me and him.
But you can understand why he takes it personally.
Yes and no.
Would you separate your experience if your father had been put in jail from the prosecutor who put him in jail?
If my father was guilty, I would. Mr. Kushner pled guilty. He admitted the crimes. And so what am I supposed to do as a prosecutor? I mean, if a guy hires a prostitute to seduce his brother-in-law and videotapes it and then sends the videotape to his sister to attempt to intimidate her from testifying before a grand jury, do I really need any more justification than that? I mean, it's one of the most loathsome, disgusting crimes that I prosecuted when I was U.S. attorney. And I was U.S. attorney in New Jersey, Margaret, so we had some loathsome and disgusting crime going on there.
I mean, that's crazy, right? I forgot it was also to intimidate her because she was a witness testifying against him. It's crazy. I mean, that is next level witness intimidation. I mean, I guess the victims would be the ones who are not pedos in Hollywood. I guess you can just separate it into pedos and victims. That's the best way to separate Hollywood at this point. Okay. So now we're moving on. All right. We are going to now move on to the wall. Okay. What was the wall scam? For those of you who remember, oh, actually, before we move on to the wall, I need to show you this. Let's talk about Bannon a little bit right after we take a look at this. So, Eva Dubin, let's get back to her because this actually kind of all blends together. This all pretty much blends into the same scenario. All right, so let's add this to the stage. Okay, I'm going to bring the comments down just for now. All right, so this is Eva texting with Jeffrey. As you can see, it's 12:15 a.m. So this after midnight, she sends a picture of her and her husband, Glenn, the billionaire, her, the medical doctor, her kids. Look at the Harvard shirts because Jeffrey got the kids in the Harvard and they're his god kids, but he's kind of obsessed with the youngest one, Selena. How is Paris? Want to come and visit us? We leave late morning Friday. Are you still... I think she means in Paris. And there's a picture of her with her family. She also said that she was totally comfortable having her kids around Jeffrey and considered him safe and didn't believe any of the shit. She was 100% on his side. Eva says, I called at 1:19 a.m. And then look how many hours later. What, 5.5 hours later? That was fun. Thanks. Always wear earbuds talking to me. Oh, why is that? Always. Why are you awake at 3 a.m.? Mid-East, 7 hours ahead. Ah, forgot you just got back. Mommy's favorite jet lag. Now, this is in 2018 in November. So this is right before he goes back for the second time. Everyone knows he's a pedophile. Epstein files are already starting to drop. It will all blow over. They're really just trying to take down Trump and doing whatever they can do to do that. Yes, thanks. It's wild because I am the one able to take him down. Smiley face. Her laughing. HNY 100. I don't know what that means. But let's go back to this. I am the one able to take him down about Trump. That's insane. That is a crazy email. Participants Eva and Jeffrey. Are you having a wild party? Remember, age is only a number. Your behavior is more like 16. Yikes. Yikes, Eva. Happy birthday, you turtle. Thanks. Are you having a wild party? Remember, age is only a number. Your behavior is more like 16. Yes, I am trans age. Selena and I will take care of you when you get older for real. Again, her youngest daughter that Jeffrey likes. My muffin pre-chewed. What the fuck? Now this is her talking about Steve Bannon, who Eva just hung out with. This human pile of trash. Forgot to tell Steven that Jordan also is a big Republican. And then Eva, I look obese. She's so skinny. It's so crazy. Do you miss me even a little? See how it says self? And then obviously it's Eva. Do you miss me even a little? And then NY post, Bannon Biden must release tax returns. Yes, I miss hearing from you. I don't ever want to bother you by calling just to catch up when I know you have a lot on your plate, but I'm thinking about you every day. Call or FaceTime me whenever is good for you. May I arrange with Leslie for flights taking blank back east for her Brown University volleyball camp, please? Yes, of course. So Eva is missing hearing from him, and this is, look at this, is what, just 2 months before his death? May I arrange with Leslie for flights? So she's asking him to pay for flights. We'll be back Saturday night. Selena just landed in Miami. She's going to Bogota for a 3-day weekend with her boyfriend. What happened to Leon Black's son's wedding? Canceled. Found out she is a gold digger. I called it. I never liked that girl. In NYC, are you here? In Palm Beach. Gold digger. Now here's the weird one. Eva and someone. Trump, Palm Beach this weekend. Are you back? Yes. What? Trump, Palm Beach this weekend. Now, as you can see here, if you pull up, remember I told you you could search the files and you can see in the actual results for the data sets, you can actually see who's there, but then it's redacted in the actual document. Well, here we can see who's talking. And here we can see it's Eva, right? And then the same messages with GEE tunes. So why would he be in Palm Beach? And why did he say Trump? Also, hello, sweet and sassy. Nice to see you here, sassy. Okay. Very few. Thank you for being so very good to me for so many years. You have made my life so much richer. I don't think I'll ever be able to thank you enough. Missing you. Kiss with a heart. How are you? Having fun. So happy to hear that. Again, this is his ex-girlfriend, the love of his life, the one that got away. She has a husband and 3 kids, but he's paying for her flights and her kids' flights. She's saying, I love you. She's calling him in the middle of the night. She's always talking about her youngest daughter. She makes some really gross comments about her own kid, in my opinion, and some of these that we're not going to show because they're fucked up. But, like, she has a billionaire husband. Why does she need to shake him down for plane tickets? It's fucking weird. It's really weird. So then we move on. So this is one of the wildest, in my opinion, sets of sets of texts. Now we can tell that these are various texts between Richard Kahn, his Jeffries, and again, these are like all his different texts over time with different people. But these are texts. There's some with Arlene, some of them with Richard Kahn, some of them with Steve Bannon. And let's go down here a little bit. Give me just one moment. Okay, so he wants a video Dropbox from someone. This is, remember, he texts that. That's obviously to Eva. These are all different people. So there's like a big list of all the texts that he had incoming. Now, here's what's interesting. So this is from him. I have now seen some of Wolf's book. He's talking about Michael Wolff, who wrote the book on Trump, who was at one point in time a good friend of Jeffrey's, and they text all the time. In fact, Jeffrey was the one telling him, ask Trump about this, ask him about Middle Fart, which is both of their ex-girlfriends. And now he's saying, I have now seen some of Wolf's book, which just came out at this point. This is 2019. Again, this is right before he kills himself. Mentions me and underage prostitutes. You as the man behind and in front of the curtain. Lots of Steve quotes. Lots. He's talking about Steve Bannon. Ugh, anything awful? Wish he hadn't done that. Why were you mentioned at all? Palm Beach house purchase. Remember how I told you about he had this war with Trump over real estate in Palm Beach? Don't reach out to Michael, but Bannon was not confused. He had a clear understanding of how great a liability Trump could be to Bannon's own vision and career. Within minutes of the budget bill passage, Bannon began working the phones. His goal was to light him up. Costa sat at Bannon's dining room table for 2 hours. Interesting how he knows all of these things. This person says, I told Michael I wouldn't pass on, but ... You should get 50% of the royalties. Trump's stupidity could sometimes be made into a virtue. How does he pitch this as an inside book on Trump? In the last few weeks, he had installed his allies, Pompeo, Bolton, I think he means Ludlow, Lewandowski, and Bossie. Bannon people carrying Bannon's message. Isn't that interesting? Bolton and Pompeo aside, Lewandowski is currently, isn't he fucking Kristi Noem on a jet? Huh, interesting. And these are Bannon people carrying Bannon's message, and we currently still have them in the White House. Weird how that still works. Review, Siege, Trump under fire. Michael Wolff, he sent him the copy of the book. So as you can see, they're openly discussing a lot of shit that maybe they shouldn't be discussing because maybe Jeffrey shouldn't know all this. It's kind of weird, and it gets weirder. And this is where the big bombshell of today's episode is, because this shocked me, honestly. Okay, so let me start. Hold on one second. Please be patient. Okay, so these start at the top, unlike the others. So pay attention to this part, because this is very strange. Well, I guess it's not strange if you knew Steve Bannon was scum the whole time, which I did, but it's just shocking to see it in an Epstein file. Okay, 5 good. We got to go down again. I'm on island 3 to 10, New York to the 14th, and then 6 weeks in Paris, Saudi, and Morocco. This is Jeffrey Epstein sending these out. I don't know, again, why they black him out and not the victims, but that's fucked. Okay. If Boris Johnson wins, plus Horowitz report, plus Deutsche Bank doc, plus Michael's book in June, will be active. I've asked Peter for Eric contact. Okay, this is when all this shit with Boris Johnson was going on. They're basically saying, like, Jeffrey's saying, like, oh my God, there's all this shit going on, hitting Trump back to back to back. Then he sends to somebody else, because these are different texts. This clearly goes to someone. I think this goes to Bannon. And then this, he goes to a girl. Dream, make a very naughty, very video. I don't. Okay. You are in Paris from when to when. That's him talking with someone else. Giving a schedule. I'm reading in a closet as you suggested. Wow. I think this is going to his girlfriend, by the way. Here we go. This is the one with Bannon. And you can see it in the cache when you pull open the file. Bannon tells him, my wall, dude. Because see how it doesn't say self on this one? On this one, it says self. So that's from Jeffrey to someone. On this one, it's someone to self. My wall, dude. New Mexico, right outside El Paso. In total secret, we go on Fox and Friends on Monday to release. So if you go to that date and you look up the Fox and Friends from that date, you see that it's Steve Bannon. And then this is his girlfriend saying, I want to talk about closet. So he's saying that there's going to be a secret wall that Bannon's going to have built from New Mexico to El Paso, and they're going to go on Fox and Friends and announce it on Monday. And he says, my wall, dude, as in Steve Bannon's wall. Interesting. So then he says, you won't be there because apparently Steve is not going to be at the wall. He's going to be on Fox and Friends. And then he says, can't. Like Steve can't. Why not? Because at this time, Trump's trying to distance himself from Steve for the upcoming election. But he says, have Kobach and Kolfage on site, as in El Paso, New Mexico. Can't have Kobach and Kolfage on site. Blank the chairman. So this part that's X'd out, there's another file where they forgot to redact it, and it says, I'm the chairman. So what's interesting is that file came from that 20-minute drop when they put everything, or not the 20-minute drop, the early drop where they put everything out that you could highlight, copy, paste. And in that time, before they took it back, redacted it, and put it back up, which is the one we're seeing, a couple of other people saved it. And you can clearly see that says I'm. So think about it. This is from Steve Bannon saying, I can't be there, but I have Kolbach and Kolfage on site. I'm the chairman, but I push those two plus the construction guy as national heroes. We started Memorial Day Friday after the courts closed and will be done Monday at noon. So over the weekend, and he's saying, and look, that's the unredacted one. I'm the chairman. So why did they redact it in the first one? Strange. And he put Kolbach and Kolfage on site. They're just going to put up a secret wall in the weekend. I also can't seem like I'm running Trump's nose in his own incompetence, Steve Bannon says. And it goes on and on and on. And then, yeah, that's it. So what is he talking about? Kolbach and Kolfage. Well, I'm glad you asked. What he's talking about is a situation called We Build the Wall. When Congress struck down the wall idea, Steve Bannon started an illegal GoFundMe along with two guys named Kolbach and Kolfage, and apparently claims to have Trump's blessing on it to the point where he was apparently assigned by all of the people who were behind this, which seems like it was him because he says, dude, my wall. Like he even says that. Let me just read to you what this is, according to them. Okay, this is according to the news. Brian Kolfage, Steve Bannon, and Chris Kobach were key figures in the We Build the Wall campaign in 2018. It raised $25 million through GoFundMe, all right, designed to privately construct barriers on the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, he made the scene when he was on Fox and Friends and all these shows, when he was talking about it, like this was something the president assigned. And he even said, I'm the chairman to Jeffrey. The project led to criminal fraud charges against Kolfage and Bannon for siphoning funds, resulting in Kolfage's 4-year sentence, while the private eroding structure faced legal and engineering issues. In 2020, Kolfage, Bannon, and others were indicted for diverting over $350,000 to Kolfage for personal use. Kolfage pled guilty in 2022 to wire fraud and tax charges and was sentenced to over 4 years in prison in April 2023. Bannon acted as an advisory board chair and through a nonprofit, you see a trend here, received over $1 million, some of which was allegedly used to pay Kolfage. Former Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach served as a general counsel for the nonprofit group. The group constructed roughly 3 miles of fencing in South Texas, which is found to have significant erosion issues shortly after completion, with experts warning it could collapse. And this also caused a lot of issues with eminent domain. People being pissed, fighting for their land over this. And these guys never even had the green light to do it. In fact, everybody got in trouble for it. And of course, Trump pretended like he had nothing to do with it, even though he supported it and talked about it until everyone got in trouble. And then all of a sudden, he barely knows Steve Bannon. We all know that story. So here are a couple of videos on the Build the Wall project in case you forgot about it. Check this out. This is what Steve is talking to Jeffrey about.
This is an irony. On the very day the mayor of this city has a delegation down on the border, they're persecuting people here to try to stop them on the border. This is all about 60 days from the day. 60 days from the day. 60 days.
Breaking news, former Trump advisor Steve Bannon pleaded guilty today to a single count of defrauding donors who wanted to help build a wall at the southern border. Bannon has agreed to a conditional discharge and is waiving his right to appeal.
The existential threat to President Trump's administration is not in federal court. What President Trump is doing is constitutional. The appellate courts will say that. The Supreme Court will say that. The existential threat is right here in this city. It is the queen of lawfare. It's Letitia James. Right now, Soros has a DA that's running unopposed. He can call a grand jury at any time. He can set up criminal charges on the most bogus efforts. Letitia James runs this deal. She's got a pliant media right here, pliant left-wing media. She's got a jury pool of only left-wing radicals in the Upper West Side of this city. And she's got the judges. She's got all of it. And I'm calling on right now the Attorney General Pam Bondi to begin an immediate criminal investigation into Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, all of it for what they did to President Trump.
You're damn right. We're going to have ICE.
This is a great question. So when this happened, all these people jumped on board to crowdfund it, thinking that Trump backed it, because Trump went on the news and was like, we're going to build the wall no matter what. If we got to do it a private citizen way, we'll do it that way. And then the courts were like, no, you can't do that. And then he found out he couldn't do that. He's like, okay, well, Steve Bannon's going to do it. Check this out. You can go build the wall now. And then Steve Bannon puts up a GoFundMe, raises all this money, basically steals it with 2 other people, puts up a shitty fence that doesn't work, takes over portions of land they're not supposed to build on, with the idea that it would be challenged in court and they would proceed with an eminent domain clause, thinking that Trump is going to handle all that and basically take it over on behalf of the government. Kind of one of those do it now, say sorry later, as opposed to ask now and beg for it. The whole thing is they're like not even going to beg for forgiveness. They just thought that it would be fixed for them, or that they could just do that, which is insane. Imagine like raising a bunch of money, having the president say, yeah, that's cool. This is going to be great. We'll build the wall anyway. Sure, go for it. And then you build it and then you steal from it. And then the rest of America finds out this is fraudulent. You can't use private money to build a wall. And the one you built was shit. And then the courts are like, yo, this is so illegal. You did it on all this private property. Like, you just put a wall up on a bunch of people's property that you're not allowed to do. That's fucked up. Someone needs to answer to this. And then Trump's like, no, I didn't tell him to fucking do that. And then Steve Bannon and all these people end up going to fucking jail. It's crazy. And not even, well, really, the guy who went to jail isn't even the one who should have. I mean, yeah, Kobach stole, but that was given to him by Bannon, who really stole. The whole thing is Bannon stole the money and then used it to pay Kobach. And then Kobach got in trouble. But he was under the guidance of Bannon, who told him it was okay. So For some reason, Bannon ended up getting a lot less than he did. And this is Bannon today threatening us about the polls. This guy who stole all this money, and everybody found out, and it was all a bunch of MAGA people, and they didn't seem to care. They were like, free Steve Bannon. A couple of people got pissed, but not enough.
You're damn right. We're going to have ICE surround the polls come November. We're not going to sit here and allow you to steal the country again. And you can whine and cry and throw your toys out of the pram all you want, but we will never again allow an election to be stolen.
Now, explain to me, Steve Bannon, how you can, with a straight.
And honestly, I just put this up because this was fucking crazy, but I do think it's going to copyright strike me. So I'm going to move forward a little bit. At this time also, Steve Bannon made a documentary that he was working on with Jeff Epstein of just Jeff Epstein. That's what this is. We're going to watch it another day because I want to keep going on this wall trip, but we are going to watch some of that because it's nuts. And I want you to see how Fox reported on the build the wall shit at the time.
The breaking news is this. Former Trump advisor Steve Bannon has been arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud in relation to support of the building the border wall. So he's charged with fraud in connection with fundraising. Okay, that's what we've got to report for you as of right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's sleepy little Castle Rock, but it's 2020. Who knows what's going to happen next? I mean,
there's no precedent on Prairie Rose Circle on how to react when your neighbor across the street is arrested on federal charges, along with the former chief strategist for the Trump administration.
About 5 o'clock in the morning, there was a couple of Castle Rock police cars and a lot of, I think, federal agents.
So I believe this was Colfidge. Is that his name? I believe this is him. His neighbors reacting to him getting arrested.
Across the street.
Cody Pipkin didn't know. As a law enforcement source told 9 News, postal inspectors arrested Tim Shea Thursday morning.
To be honest, just shocked. Seems like super nice family.
An indictment unsealed Thursday says Shea helped defraud hundreds of
Oh,
thousands
sorry,
of
this is Shea.
people who donated $25 million to a GoFundMe campaign to build a border wall.
So this is a different dude who helped out. I'm telling you, everybody except the guy who planned it all got the worst.
Colfage, a veteran, started the campaign in 2018, and Steve Bannon took over when the campaign took off. They promised over and over again 100% of the money would go to the wall.
And as you can see by Jeffrey's email, Steve Bannon didn't take over when it took off. This was planned by Steve Bannon.
The indictment says it didn't. Tim Shea,
he said, I'm pushing these guys as heroes. As in, he's making this guy out right here. Chris Colfidge, the one who he said started it. Veteran, raises overnight. He's pushing them as heroes. He wanted this guy to be the front of the movement, the face of the movement, because he was a veteran. And he knew that if anybody took the fall for it, it was going to probably be the face of the movement, which was this guy. But as he told Epstein, he says, I'm the chairman.
Brian Colfage, a veteran, started the campaign in 2018, and Steve Bannon took over when the campaign took off. They promised over and over again 100% of the money would go to the wall. The indictment says it didn't. Tim Shea is accused of setting up a shell company to funnel payments to the group.
So the government's not great stewards of people's money. And
Shea's wife, who was not charged, told 9 News in December 2018 she and her husband partnered with Colfage and took care of all the checks sent to a P.O. box in Castle Rock. The indictment says Colfage kept more than $350,000 to himself. Bannon is accused of pocketing more than $1 million to pay Colfage and himself. Those two were arrested, along with Shea and another man.
Didn't know anything about it until just hearing about it today.
All news to neighbors in Castle Rock.
I mean, you saw the woman. You saw her talking about the GoFundMe. Do you trust her? I'm not trying to be rude, but I wouldn't trust that woman with a couple mil. I just wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. So here is one more on it. This is when they got sentenced.
We begin this afternoon with breaking news.
Let me put this up so you can see it. This is what happened when they got sentenced. Here you go.
We begin this afternoon with breaking news. 2 men indicted alongside Steve Bannon for defrauding We Build the Wall donors were sentenced today in federal court. The organization took donations to privately construct a portion of the border wall during former President Trump's term. We Build the Wall was the group responsible for this piece of wall built on private land near Mount Cristo Rey in Sunland Park. Brian Colfage was sentenced to 4 years and 3 months in prison for stealing hundreds.
Notice how it says, how he said built on private land. So again, fuck up now, ask questions later. Not cool at all. Not cool at all. And here's another thing. Remember, this wall has the slats in it. All these people were taking pictures, going through it, going over it. All of the shit rusted pretty immediately.
Prison for stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from donors. And co-defendant financier Andrew Badolato.
Hell, right there on the news, you can see people walking right through it. Unfortunately, it won't let me turn it up louder. Let me see if I can try. Let me see if I can get it louder through the internal speakers. Sorry about that. Might have to turn it up louder and post edit. Here we go.
Also sentenced to 3 years for aiding the effort. He had also pleaded guilty. Colfage and Badolato were also ordered to pay $25 million in restitution to the victims. Steve Bannon was arrested on similar charges, but was pardoned by Trump before he left office.
Did you hear that? So, Steve Bannon was pardoned by Trump before he even left office. And the other guys were left to rot. Kind of crazy how that works. Especially because Bannon is such good friends with Epstein. Like, wasn't Trump trying to separate himself from Bannon? So why would he pardon him? It makes absolutely no sense. In my opinion, I think they're all still butt buddies. I think that Trump was butt buddies with him till his death because he was terrified of what he knew. Because in Epstein's own words, as he told Eva, he's the one who could bring him down. So, with that said, that is the end of the episode. We talked about Peggy. We talked about how she enabled, if not facilitated, some of the bad behavior, considered Jeffrey a victim, and then put a lot of people in uncomfortable positions, including probably victims, it seems. And we talked about the We Build the Wall thing, which is crazy because of the amount of like open discussion of this huge coup, talking about Trump saying he's stupid and all this shit, while at the same time pushing for him to be there because you know that you can take advantage of him because he's stupid, aka Steve Bannon. But I think the reason they didn't succeed as much as they wanted to was probably because, as they've also referenced in the Epstein files, they might not be the only ones that are corrupt. And it does look like that Trump is working on behalf of people already. Possibly Russia. That's what it seems like. Or the Saudis. But he owes a lot of shit to a lot of people. Definitely Israel because of the Jared Kushner shit. And Jared Kushner was still close friends, it seems, with Epstein, also based on information in the files. And some of it we've already shown you. He was inviting him to parties at the New York Observer, you know, almost a decade after they were not supposed to be talking. Epstein and Trump shared ex-girlfriends. There's just so much in there that makes you realize Bannon was really just an extension, I think, of Epstein. And that's why Epstein, I think, enjoyed being so close to him. And when Michael Wolff's book came out and it showed a lot of the things that Bannon would say to people and how Michael Wolff made the Epstein connection to Trump, he was furious because I think that they had this agreement, this is just my opinion, that Jeffrey would be in the back burner, wouldn't say anything, would keep quiet, and get messages to Trump through people. And in exchange, Trump wouldn't prosecute because he knew what Jeffrey had on him. And that's just my opinion. But that's what it looks like. It looks like a lot of people who have a lot on each other, and they're all just blackmailing and extorting the fuck out of each other. And that is a pretty good definition of our government, I think. So, yeah, that's what I got. That is what I got. Do you take, are they in the files requests, or will you? I'm curious about someone who said that he wouldn't, did so in a Spanish prison and also, yeah. Who do you want to look up? We'll do one for you, Derek. Because you wrote a dope ass jam. I believe you deserve it. I believe you deserve a free Epstein lookup. What do you want to see? Sorry, I should have silenced that if I was going to cough. Let me see. Who do you want to know about, Derek? Share this tab instead. B613. Nope, we gotta wait on Derek. Oh, I think I looked for him already. McAfee? Let me make sure I spell it right. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he is in here a bit, but it's a lot of all of it is like computer software updates. And I believe, yeah, it's like a lot of articles about him doing all kinds of shit. He was like the Tiger King. He was nuts. But I do think I did see a couple of emails. And I remember I thought I spelled his name wrong a lot. Oh, this one. Is this it? Honestly, sitting in the governor's board listening to McAfee and Tom Philman, they talk too much, lots of BS. Ariane de Rothschild. So a Rothschild doesn't like him. That's interesting. There was another one, though. Maybe we go to the end. I always like to start at the end and work my way forward because I do think the government really likes burying the shit. So I'm like, well, let's look at the last possible place. I haven't seen this one. I wonder. Oh, these are daily payments. Oh, he just probably paid his McAfee subscription. I thought there was. Oh, yeah, I can't wait till we talk about the foreign hackers targeting. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't really see. I think I misspelled it, though, and the person also misspelled it. And he was mentioned in an email, but I think it was about, like, how they questioned someone for a documentary about him. And if it's the one I'm thinking of, that was a great documentary. It really was. Yeah, Derek, I'm going to have to get back to you because I don't think we have time to go through all of these. But I would like to double check because I do think he mentioned something about him, but I don't think they like hung out. McAfee did not like being around other billionaires, I think. I think he kind of hated it. I think he liked being the only alpha male, if you will. Yeah, there. I don't see that much. Is this? No, that's Andrew. There was one, though, where somebody just makes a comment about him, and I was like, yuck, 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 yuck. Like I found it funny. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go try it with a couple of different misspellings. Well, no, I think they were talking about some of the nasty stuff that was going to come out about him, but they didn't know about the pooping from the hammock yet. But it was alluding to something like that. He went to an island where he couldn't be extradited, and he liked to be at sea all the time because of international waters. Yeah, but he also said on a couple of occasions, allegedly, that he would go down in a blaze of glory, or that he would take himself before they took him. You got to remember, his last days, he was being chased for having guns on a ship and a woman that wanted to get off. And I think they were looking for him because he was making threats. And remember, he had ran for president. I think that's what it was about. It was something about him being like a dipshit for running for president. I'll find it later. That's a good one. That's a good one. Because I was looking for him the other day. I have a whole list of things to look up. People and things. Because, you know, I like to make lists. All right. Well, I'm losing my voice again, and I got to get back to doing shit for work. Thank you guys for being here, and I think our next episode, we're going to do a sillies. We're going to do something goofy, and then maybe look at a cold case, and then come back to this, because I kind of need a little break from Epstein stuff for a minute, but not that long, just maybe a week. Maybe a week. I don't want to lose momentum, but it's just a lot. You know, and these people are sick puppies. And maybe I can even pre-record some more stuff for that, because I've got it all half done. But either way, I'd like to finish it. And then in that time, maybe we could do 2 or 3 episodes where we'll do news updates, cold case, and then we can maybe do a sillies. We're definitely going to do a sillies. We need one. But one thing we need more than anything is an attorney.
Your Honor, defer. Miss Janice.
Judge Athens.
Your Honor, this is so unfair. Your Honor, I think I want to appeal. Your Honor. Your Honor, stop. This is propaganda. Your Honor, this is fake.
What? No, you were flirting with my sister.
I was flirting with your sister.
Yes, you were flirting with my sister. What?
I'm not quite sure why I'm here or what I'm doing, but there's a reason.
Ma'am, we're discussing the rezoning for the Portillos. Do you have any comments on that?
For what?
We're discussing the rezoning on 53rd for...
Well, I live on 63rd.
Again, we're here to hear comments about the rezoning.
Well, I don't like Facebook, and I don't like the internet because I can't find a job. The library blocked my password. Now tell me, does that make any sense to you?
Send this to someone on the Epstein list. Hello, scoundrel. If you are panicking right now because you may have done some crimes, don't worry. Using airtight logic, I've designed a fashion that will absolve you of any sin. I am not on the Epstein list. And also there is no list. And also there is one, but it's fake. Please